I make up to $11,000 a month on TaskRabbit shoveling snow. Here's how. So Giovanni Targo, who is 36, a tasker for TaskRabbit who focuses on snow removal in Chicago, Illinois. Storms are a challenge, and Targo's best practices include staying warm and using a light shovel. Here's his story, as told to writer Pierre Ormont Blumberg. I had a physical labor job at Coca-Cola from 2005 to 2015, and I was later promoted to a sales role that I held until 2017. I left to explore other opportunities I felt were better suited for me, my skills, and my passion. I entered the gig economy after realizing I could earn more money and be less stressed, and become a full-time rideshare driver before the COVID-19 pandemic began. Previously, I was a part-time driver. I first heard of TaskRabbit through a friend who was working as a tasker. I joined in 2020 during the height of the pandemic, and tasking on the platform supported me financially. I initially offered moving and heavy lifting services. Now I offer those services in addition to delivery, furniture assembly, and snow removal. What's going on, my friends? It's your man Adam Ace Spencer here with another TaskRabbit video today. Yeah, as you guys can see, we're diving into this article. I want to make sure you guys can hear different stories. You know, I'm not the only one out there making solid money. Clearly, Giovanni is killing it here on TaskRabbit, making $11,000 a month snow shoveling. So let's dive back into this article. But if you haven't already, make sure you guys smash the like button and of course subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, then you can stay up to date on all of our latest videos that help you with making, managing, and growing money. If Chicago gets consistent snow, I'm happy to have my whole calendar filled up with snow removal tasks. Last February was my best month ever. About 80% of my jobs were snow removals, and I made $11,357. I typically charge $60 per hour, and if we have enough snowfall, I can do 5 to 7 snow removal tasks a day. In 2021, I made nearly $78,000 in total. It's a mess. We had storms last year that brought over a foot of snow. That's when you have to deal with cars getting stuck at stoplights or stop signs and volunteer to give them a push. It's all cyclical though. I had a few strangers help push me a few times when I was stuck. The toughest part of dealing with heavy snow is finding parking even a few blocks from a job. Chicagoans have a practice known as dibs, where they'll attempt to secure their spot on the street after clearing snow by leaving chairs, paint buckets, or even used Amazon packages. The most recent snowstorm in Chicago was fun. I always look forward to consistent work. When I heard the news about the big storm the week of January 31st, I decided to take the whole day off before the storm hit to rest up. The day of and the day after the snowstorm, I was out tasking for more than 10 hours. As long as I keep getting tasks and demand is high, I'll be out there to capitalize. Snow season only lasts a couple of months, and in my experience, it has the highest earning potential of the entire year. I don't know if I'll entirely agree with that portion there, Giovanni, but we're gonna keep going with the article. Running snow removal tasks can be challenging, especially in Chicago, but you can't give up. And sometimes improvisation is a necessity. If there's an especially big storm followed by a deep freeze, you'll quickly find out you're not doing a snow removal, but rather an ice removal. Clients hire taskers for unique and complex jobs, whether it's a car buried up to its roof or a dumpster stuck in ice that's 6 inches thick. To stay warm, I wear insulated coveralls, insulated gloves, a few layers of shirts, and sometimes a hoodie. I also wear thermal long johns with a pair of sweats and wool socks with water-resistant snow boots. For those looking to begin tasking and committing to snow removal, my advice is to choose the right shovel. I prefer a lightweight plastic shovel with a metal edge on the scoop. When you're doing 1,000 scoops of snow in a day, the heavier all-metal shovels will take a toll on your stamina. You'll also have to carry your shovel from your car to the client's house or car. Some of these jobs will seem impossible upon arrival. One strategy I use is asking clients to share a few pots of boiling water. There have been occasions when I've had to break ice with a hammer or pickaxe before shoveling ice and snow. Unfortunately, there are jobs where a shovel alone won't do the trick, but I've found that thinking outside the box and completing the job is better than leaving a job half done and risking a bad review. One task that stands out to me was when I had to use the lot behind a building. Snow was packed up high, so it was a very large area. I had to be creative about where the snow was dumped because I couldn't block any cars or dumpsters. That task took a couple of hours, but I got it done by creating a couple of large snow mounds and piling it up on the other side of the alley. Please don't keep your clients hanging after you've accepted a task on the app. If they hired you, then that means they need the job done. Most will understand if you're running late, but it adds stress to the client if they need to hire another tasker. I also like to imagine that the property you're clearing or the car you're digging out is yours. When clearing driveways and sidewalks, you're being hired because the client might have young kids or they may be older adults. Take pride in your work. Do the best job possible and don't cut corners. Your hard work and attention to detail will lead to repeat clients that will trust you enough to keep their houses clear in the future and recommend you to the families and friends, which leads to more money. Now, my friends, I want to throw in my 2 cents, I guess, with a lot of the points and things that Giovanni throws out there. I love hearing other taskers' perspectives. I love letting you guys hear other people kind of throw their 2 cents out there in the mix. And I think it's important to hear other views, not just mine. I know a lot of you guys are, I'm starting to build up the channel and people are starting to agree with some of the points and practices that I say, but everyone's different. Everyone has a different need, different strengths, different interests. Your goal might be to make as much money as possible. Meanwhile, my goal might be to make a lot of money, but also still have control over my schedule. Someone else might have a goal where they're like, I just need to make $500 a week. I already have my job. So everyone's different. And again, your interests might be different in terms of the different categories and services that you provide. In this situation, in this case, Giovanni talks about this being potentially the best time of the year. Right here, it says snow season only lasts a couple of months. And in my experience, it has the highest earning potential of the entire year. Now, again, everyone is different. And depending on your area, the region, your location, that's also going to vary. For me personally, here in Boston, I would disagree. And I would say, August and September, and this isn't like a debate for me. I literally track and I know how much money I've made every month for the past since 2019, when my first full year of tasking. And so I have all of that tracked, all of that logged. I can tell you, right now for this current year, despite some of my videos, this has been, I think right now, even though we're not done with February, I might be tied with for my all-time most earnings on and off TaskRabbit, not just with TaskRabbit, but with my handyman Adam Helper business. And so, and I can tell you, this is the slowest time of the year for me personally with my business. So I just wanted to throw that one little thing out there and say, yes, you can absolutely make a killer, but you can make potentially even more money other months depending on the services that you provide. For me, my money makers, which he does do, so that's why I think this was even more interesting and it caught my attention. But moving, lifting heavy furniture, what's the other one? Moving and full service moving. Those 3 categories are basically, and which is all pretty much moving. But that is my money maker for me personally here in Massachusetts, here in Boston. But in the winter, it shifts to snow removal pretty much. So I can understand where he's coming from when he says this is the highest earning potential for some taskers. And that said, Chicago probably gets more snow than we get here in Boston. So, right, that would also make sense. I think this was important that they did mention, you got to be dressed to impress. Not really. You want to be comfortable though. You want to be prepared so that you can get out there and be weathering the storm and you can deal with some of these storms that we get. Stay comfortable. because once you get drenched and wet and start getting uncomfortable, no one really wants to continue to be out there doing that. So, I think this was important information that they mentioned in here. One thing I got to share is on the shovel. Me personally, I love using my scoop shovel, which is a yard work shovel. And I believe I have a bunch of shovels. I literally, I think on my Adam Helper YouTube channel, I think I'll be making a video diving into the different shovels, because so many people will just go and buy the shovels that we traditionally see that are being marketed and sold as snow shovels, when in fact, I believe, based on my experience of hundreds of jobs, snow shoveling jobs, the scoop shovel is where it's at. That said, it does have its, it has its pros and cons, like any shovel. But to his point, you don't want to be using some extra heavy shovel. And oftentimes the all metal shovels are much heavier. So, one thing down here, he mentioned he uses like a hammer or a pickaxe. And I think using, like, I use like an ice chipper. I think this is fine if you have this, because you probably have a hammer and you might use this for yard work stuff. So these would be something that you can leverage. But I use like an ice chipper that I think it's like this one, basically, not the Snow Joe one, but it's basically like this, that I purchased from Home Depot a little while back. Oh, this is it. Bam. I think this is it. And I know I'm going on a little binge right now, but I figured, hey, some of you guys are probably actually like, wait, what should I buy though? Because this guy mentioned all these things that he makes that much money, so I'm going to listen to him. And I made a video actually before this time of this video, sharing with you guys my Eagle snowblower. So one thing that he could consider, Giovanni, if you're listening, consider investing in an Eagle snowblower. They're small enough to put in the back of a Honda Accord. I used to have a Honda Accord that's what I started, my TaskRabbit business out of. And I've been able to work my way up to getting a cargo van. I no longer use the Honda Accord. My mother has that. I now have my Honda Pilot, which is obviously bigger. And now I'm thinking about, I need something even larger and I need a new van. All of that came from essentially TaskRabbit. Now, I want to finish this video off sharing with you guys down here that I love the fact that he finishes this on this tip of, if they hired you, that means they need the job done. Most will understand if you're running late, but it adds stress to the client if they need to hire another tasker. So imagine if it was your property, or, even not just with snow shoveling, but, moving jobs, painting, whatever it is. Imagine if it was your property and stuff. So don't leave people hanging. No shows is not a good look, or you just canceling on them last minute, not a good look. Again, if you're running late, understandable. That's life. Things happen, but, communicate. I've stressed this in previous videos, my previous customer review videos, things like that. But communication is so important and so key. And that includes even before you get on site. If you're running late, communicate, message your client, let them know. But, when it's all said and done, you need to take pride in your business, in your work, do the best job possible. Don't cut corners. Like, I love all of this. Giovanni is spot on. And I think it's a major reason with why I've seen the success that I've seen, and why I stress, don't look at this as a one-off gig app, a one-off, opportunity. Again, people will recommend you to their friends, to their families, to other associates, businesses. They will appreciate the work that you do when you do good work. And when they see that you're, working your butt off. I'll do moving jobs and work up a sweat in the wintertime like no other. But, I'm pretty fit. I still have some high school records to this day in track. So, I know about, speed and working hard and whatnot, and I'll still work up a sweat, work my butt off, because this is what people are paying me for. This is why they, come back, and I see repeat customers and I see referral customers in business, and why I'm able to continue to grow my business, my TaskRabbit business, despite even some of the changes TaskRabbit has made. So I'm going to wrap this video up there. I wanted to, again, just share this story, share this blog post, this article with you guys, because I do think more people need to understand the value of TaskRabbit, but not just TaskRabbit, these gig apps in general, and the ability to utilize them to help connecting you with people who have a need. So, really that's what it all comes down to. Again, the value that you can bring to others and how you can help them. And in return, you should do pretty well, like Giovanni and his beautiful little doggy over here. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Like I said, if you found this video helpful, motivational, encouraging, definitely smash that like button. And while you're down below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. And let me know what your thoughts are about snow shoveling on TaskRabbit. Do you do it? Have you done it? Have you made this much money? Have you made a lot more? Nowhere near this much. I'm curious where do others stand when it comes to snow shoveling here on TaskRabbit. But all right, my friend, you already know what it is. I gotta keep it moving, but I'll see you in the next video. Peace.